The warrior life. You're living it. You've been breathing it. A struggle through classic WoW, and what a struggle. You've begun the road to mastery for class, but you're still only halfway there, and it only gets harder. If you've watched the previous video, you know that the warrior's life is centered on their weapon. You'll know the speed, you'll know the stats, you'll know what's good by now, and yet there's variety. There's the ease of obtaining it, and then there's the time. This video is part of a longer series dedicated to finding the right weapon for a warrior on your way to 60. And today we're going over a very important milestone in the middle of your journey. We pick up at level 30. Level 30 through 37. You made it. You hit that milestone every warrior talks about. While many will argue warriors truly change at level 40, level 30 represents a chance to get a massive spike in power and become a deadly figure on the battlefield. Ding level 30 and head to your trainer. Your Whirlwind Axe, a great weapon obtained from a warrior-only quest that begins from your class trainer. Look for the quest, The Islander, from them. This quest will see you heading down to the Barrens in southeast of Ratchet. You'll find a drowned peninsula capped with a place called Frey Island. You'll get the chance to meet the legendary Clannick MacLeod of Highlander fame, and he'll see you doing a small challenge for him. You'll compete in a series of one-on-one fights with minor NPC challengers. Make sure you bring a couple of bandages and keep yourself topped off so that way you can face down the final challenger, Big Will. Now, as a small aside, you can use Demoralizing Shout on Big Will to instantly defeat him. Now, with Big Will down, return to Clannick and you'll unlock Berserker Stance. This is a great day for every warrior, but for the moment, it's only really useful for intercepts until level 36, where you get Whirlwind. Speaking of Whirlwind, we've finally got the quest that we've wanted all along. Grab it from Clannick, and it'll be called the Wind Watcher, which will send us to the Alterac Mountains and south of Chillwind Point to speak to a troll called Bathra the Wind Watcher. There, he'll give you a simple task. Collect some materials and return. Very simple. Life Root, Blood Scalp Tusks, and Essence of Exile. Let's go down the list. Life Root is gathered by herbalists with a skill of 150 or higher. It's usually found near rivers, lakes, or on hills. It can rarely come from chests, a rarer group of mobs, and an even rarer group of vendors. It's generally easier just to find a friendly herbalist or to go to the auction house. You only need 8 of them, so it's pretty cheap. Blood Scalp Tusks are next, which will require you to head to the Stranglethorn Vale area and make some trouble. They have a high drop rate off of any Blood Scalp mob with that prefix in northwestern STV. I generally prefer to hunt the mobs just north of Gromgol Base Camp. They have the lowest level, 33 to 35, but are still manageable to solo at level 30. You need 30 of these tusks, so expect to be here a while and to deal with the enemy faction, as both the Alliance and the Horde have quests in this area. Though there is a high mob density here, most people trying to gank you will have more trouble than you're probably worth, so use that to your advantage and bunker down somewhere while you grind it out. Essence of Exile is the final item, which is a mini-quest unto itself. You'll be required to collect 8 Thundering Charms, 8 Burning Charms, and 8 Cresting Charms. These will drop off of the elemental NPCs that cluster at various locations in the Arathi Highlands. Be aware the charms are unbound, and other players will often farm these to sell them to warriors like yourself at high prices. Now, if you have it in your heart that you can solo it, or you don't have the pocket money to do it, you'll be fighting level 38 to 39 mobs with elemental damage that ignores armor, and they have a variety of powerful attacks. I recommend doing this with a friend unless you are an absolute master of hamstring kiting. The 8 Burning Charms will come from the Circle of West Binding far to the west in the Highlands. The Burning Exiles there are the easiest of the pack, but they're not to be taken lightly. Your 8 Thundering Charms will come from the Circle of Outer Binding in central Arathi. The Thundering Exiles you must kill love to use range spells, so be mindful of your health. Finally comes the 8 Cresting Charms from the Circle of East Binding in northeastern Arathi Islands. Look just west of Hammerfall. The Cresting Exiles here have Frost Armor and a Frost Nova, making them especially difficult for Warrior. So be prepared for a hard battle on each and every one. With all of those items gathered, return to Bathra the Wind Watcher. He'll collect the items and charge you with the task of defeating a level 40 elite elemental named Cyclonian. This NPC has a variety of knockback effects and a stationary whirlwind move to avoid. He's a tough fight, and you'll need a solid group to take him, especially if you're low level. Keep in mind this fight becomes especially easy to cheese if you take advantage of a nature protection potion or another nature resistance buff. But it can be more difficult to collect these sorts of things if you're on a newer server. Defeat this monster and turn in its heart to Bathra. You'll be given the choice between a two-handed mace, a sword, or an axe. If you're a human, the mace is worth considering, but in general, the Whirlwind Axe is your best choice, so I would pick that up. With that, you have a great weapon, especially if you picked it up at or before level 33 or 34. This is an incredible axe, and it has the power to keep you going through and all the way up to level 40 and beyond. Though the Alliance does obtain a minor upgrade in a few levels, Horde Warriors will use it for even longer. Take your axe and do some damage. Let everyone fear your name and carry on. So that was a long one, huh? Your Whirlwind weapon is a huge milestone in your warrior life, helping you transition into a real class with a real attack at level 40. With this big quest out of the way, we will be moving on to another video later. So drop a like, a comment, or a sub. I'm always happy to hear from other guys about what you're going to do in Classic and if you like this stuff or not. I've been streaming a lot more on Twitch. If you want to see me die a lot, my warrior, especially in the closed beta or in other projects, I'm doing it all the time, so be sure to check me out. I'm over at twitch.tv/AxisOfAxis. And yeah, we're going to be doing some more videos, so keep one or more eyes peeled, fellers.